My name is Shelley Cox. I'm Planning Director for Pasquotank County. Well, this was a completely new use for this area, this part of the country. We've never seen anything like this before. So we really were starting from scratch with the project. I had to research ordinances, and there wasn't any locally, there wasn't any regionally, so I started looking at other parts of the country. And the northern area of the United States, of course, has a lot of wind farms, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York. So I looked at those ordinances. A lot of those are developed along ridge lines, the mountains, which isn't consistent with our topography. So then I started looking to the Midwest, into Texas, North Dakota, Montana, where there's flat areas like we have, to kind of see what their rules and regulations were regarding this type of use. And I contacted several communities in that part of the United States and discussed their experiences with these types of projects. You know, what are the pitfalls to kind of avoid? What are the things that we should look for? Did a lot of research from the very beginning to kind of determine what we needed to be looking out for with this type of project. You know, we had to look at, was this consistent with our land use plan? Our land use plan really didn't envision this type of use. It envisioned that area of being agricultural, and we knew that we wanted that area to remain agricultural. And this kind of actually presented a good opportunity to preserve that area, because they built the turbines on 10,000 acres of farmland, and the farmers farm right up to almost the base of the turbine. So the farmers are still farming that area. You have the turbines. There's very little opportunities now for that to develop into anything else. So it's kind of helping us preserve our farmland in that part of the county, which was a goal of ours. There was a lot of concern because this is something that most people in this area had never been close to, had never even seen a utility scale turbine before, so it was kind of scary to some people, especially when you're talking about a structure that's 475 feet tall. There was concern about something that tall and that many in this county. Somebody likened it to a structure that's bigger than the Statue of Liberty being here in our community. How's that going to look? So that was one of the big concerns that came up. Noise, because of course nobody had ever heard of them before, so they didn't really know what to expect. You're expecting something that large to produce a lot of noise. So it was kind of shocking when some of us got to go visit a site and saw that there really wasn't that much noise being generated from something so large. But there was, from people that hadn't had that opportunity, some concern about noise. There was concern about shadow flicker. There was concern about traffic impacts. No, not at all. It's been surprising, actually. I mean, we didn't really anticipate there'd be a lot of problems, but you kind of anticipate there might be some. I haven't heard of any complaints since the project's been built. Probably somebody would complain if they had the chance to. You know, sometimes people complain just for the sake of complaining, but I have not had any phone calls or letters or any contact from citizens saying that they've been negatively affected by this project. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people locally and from out of the area are just like, wow, this is really neat. This is cool. We've never seen anything like this before. You know, this is something that is unique to our area now, that nowhere else in this part of the country has this. So it's pretty impressive. And when you're driving along the bypass and you see them in the distance, and I mean, I think they're beautiful personally, but some people think they're ugly. And, you know, it's just very subjective. But I think it's really cool to look and see the whole size of the project. And, you know, you got the farmland with the turbines in the distance, and they're slowly turning, and it's kind of peaceful to me. So I think it's really cool, and a lot of the people visiting us think it's neat, and they make it a point to go out there and look at it. During construction, there was definitely an uptick in the amount of business local restaurants were having, building supply stores. Our sales tax and occupancy tax increased pretty significantly. It was notable the uptick that we saw during construction. Now that it's not being constructed and things have kind of died down, you don't see that as much. But there were local businesses that definitely benefited from having the project here in the community, and probably still do to some degree. I mean, there are a handful of jobs and a few people that kind of pass through looking at it. So I would imagine there's a benefit there. It's taken many years and a lot of hours of meetings and a lot of work. A lot of work went into this project from the company's perspective, from the county's perspective. It took a lot of research and a lot of hard work to get to where we're at. But it's just, it's one of those things that I look at that project and it's the top of my list of things in my entire career that I'm most proud of. I doubt I'll ever have this opportunity again. This is a win-win project for us. It's the largest taxpayer in Pasquotank County. Demands no services. Once we've gotten through that initial process of review and permitting, building inspections, now that it's built, there's very little attention or time that the county has to spend on that project. It's totally different from most projects that you see, and it's a win-win.